Hello everyone, it is TooAwesome here with another video. So I saw SpaceJam recently with some friends and it was something. So without further ado, let's review SpaceJam 2.
Yikes.
Space Jam 2 is a fantasy comedy film first released on July 16th of 2021. Now, going into this movie, I actually didn't hear much about it. Maybe some whispers here and there that it wasn't the greatest, but I definitely wasn't expecting the movie to be like this. Right from the beginning, you can tell that this movie was going to be pretty bad. There were some cheesy lines with this really Disney Channel movie original-esque basketball game to start things off, and well, wasn't the greatest foot to begin on. We were also introduced to this super cheesy line of dialogue. It was something along the lines of "put in the work" or something like that. Look, I don't remember, but you would think I would, since they don't stop saying it for the entirety of the rest of the movie. So yeah, the beginning was really bad. It set up a lot for the rest of the movie, but it just dragged on and felt like a Disney Channel movie. No joke. But I won't lie, in the middle of this movie was actually pretty fun. Going around the different Warner Brothers planets housing each of their IPs was some pretty cool stuff, and I actually liked a lot of the references and jokes here. Plus, I feel like almost all the Looney Tunes stuff was pretty funny and entertaining. I mean, you meet them in the middle of the movie, and after that, I would say the movie definitely goes up in enjoyment, especially compared to the beginning. I also think the writers for the jokes really put the work in, especially for the Looney Tunes, because I found a vast amount of their jokes funny and at the very least really entertaining. This middle section of the movie is honestly the most enjoyable. Now the end was alright, I guess. For me personally, I thought it was pretty cool, but it definitely dragged on way too long for me. Plus, Wile E. Coyote scored like 500 points and you're telling me LeBron won this game for them? Dude went like 4 for 5. And LeBron, you can't act, it's okay. Please, you're good at basketball, just stick to it. To be honest, Don Cheadle was probably the best actor here, but he was an actual actor. I mean, I'll cut LeBron some slack, but he can't act for his life. The story as a whole was sort of weird as well. I feel like it would have been better if they just sort of recreated the first movie in a way. Just have the aliens come back or have them train some alien pupils or something and then they face off against their predecessors. Because there were a lot of moving parts and components to this story that made it feel like unnecessary, convoluted, and slightly confusing. I get the whole video game thing, but I feel like that extra stuff could have been slimmed down or made at least a little simpler. I won't lie though, the movie had that flashiness factor. It does look pretty good for the most part, and if you're some parent taking your kid for a few hours, all the colors alone will keep them entertained. Now, going along with that, the tone of the movie felt really weird. You've heard me mention it feeling like a Disney Channel movie, but then at the same time having lots of jokes and references that children may not necessarily understand. Like, it hops around these two tones and constantly flips back and forth between them. I mean, when it had a little more of a wackier yet fun feeling, it was actually pretty good. Like, exploring the Warner Brother IPs and gathering the Toon Squad was by far the best part of the movie. But then at points it would hop back over to this childish and cheesy, and not really in a fun way. And the finale itself felt like a weird cross between the two, like a mix of a children's movie and a blockbuster finale, hence that visual factor from before that just seemed to drag on a little too long. Now, I've mentioned the Warner Brothers IPs quite a bit, but I was a little surprised at just how many franchises they own. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. And I have seen many people complaining about that and how they feel it's just a Warner Brothers advertising like everything they own, but I actually really just didn't mind. Same thing with the product placement. A lot of people weren't really happy about that, but it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. Also, going back to the humor one last time, there was a specific joke during the final basketball game around halftime, and I actually can't remember the last time I laughed that hard. Major props to the writers, and they actually had me sold for a second. Overall, the movie did have some good things going for it, however it had a lot holding it down as well, and I really don't know who this movie is made for, because a lot of the time it felt like it was aimed at kids, but like I said before, a vast amount of the jokes were aimed at adults, or alluding to instances, players, or events that kids wouldn't really know about. so it's strange. But I would say if you have a group of friends and maybe want to make fun of a movie while watching it and maybe laugh at it together, I guess I could recommend it. But if you're gonna go in expecting a really good film or just a good summer flick at all, you may be a little disappointed. So Space Jam 2 gets a 4 out of 10. The middle was pretty fun, but the rest wasn't the greatest. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments of your own, make sure to leave them down below. Trust me, I read them. Also, look at this graph. Okay. But as always, stay awesome, too awesome. Thanks for watching.